The only scoring for New York in the last 3 games now. That 3-run homer by Johnny Damon. Otherwise, they are an over. It is 4-0 Detroit today. Jeremy Bonderman is the story. Strike one to Polanco. Corey Lytle into the game when Jared Wright couldn't get out of the third. Three runs in the second, 1 unearned run in that third inning for Detroit. Tigers won with a shutout yesterday, 6-0. And Steve, as you and I were talking about, this was a downtrodden bunch of Tigers at the end of the regular season. They had lost 5 straight, 31 out of 50. Ground ball, Jeter tears after it, no play. Sean Casey, a couple of hits against Randy Johnson yesterday. This is a guy, Steve, who was originally signed by then Cleveland Indians scout Casey McKeon, who happens to be the son of Jack McKeon, veteran manager, led the young Marlins to a World Series upset of these New York Yankees 3 years ago. I'll bring up 3 years ago, not just because Jack McKeon and Jim Leland are both kind of old school, older managers with a mustache, who may both end up engineering upsets over the Yankees, but 2003, that was the year the Tigers lost those 119 games. And, you know, we're not talking about a decade ago. That was 3 years ago.
10 guys on this ball club were on that team. So this Tiger team knows how to lose. They want to find out what it means to win.
The city has not seen winning baseball since 1993. I mean, literally, they have not been a game over 500 since 1993 until this year. Haven't been in the playoffs since '87.
Big attitude change with Leland and the rest of the coaching staff that he brought in here. Don Slott, the hitting coach, Andy Van Slyke. Boy, I had some great conversations with Andy about philosophy on hitting and what they try to do as a ball club here. A great working staff. You need to have guys that are willing to work to make your players better at the major league level, and that's what Jim Leland has.
Casey, a tapper, right field, base hit. And again, the Tigers looking to take the extra base. They've got it. How much fun is this guy having? And not for nothing, against Lytle, lifetime, he's 11 out of 16.
Goodness. Don't throw it.
Got to. Oh, and pretty well done, too. 0-1.
Asked Sean Casey if they tried to do anything differently with him. You look at that big breaking ball away from Ordonez, and he said no. He said that's what's been great. He said both Van Slyke and Don Slott just work with guys' strengths. They don't try to change too much. He said, you know, I'm too old. If they wanted to change anything I'm doing, I'd just go home.
Another breaking ball, another base hit. 5-0 Detroit.
His fault.
Well, and you know, I mean, not to make too much of it, but you feel for guys like Higginson, and we mentioned that Tiger coaching staff, guys like Trammell and Gibson and Parrish, who worked so hard and wore that Old English D with such pride. You know, that's another thing that's just unfortunate. Kurt Gibson is not here today. In fact, talked to Gibby a little bit before the game. He's watching one of his sons play hockey today. Again, belts it into right. That'll chase home at least one more. They settle for one instead of two. It's all good. 6-0 Tigers. Corey Lytle is out. Brian Bruni is in. The infield is in halfway with runners at second and third and nobody out. 6-0 Detroit. And here's Pudge Rodriguez. Ball 1 to him. Four consecutive hits to open up this bottom of the 5th inning. One and one, the count to Pudge Rodriguez. And this ballpark, Steve Lyons, just crackling with electricity right now. Jeremy Bonderman. Nobody's supposed to be talking to Bonderman right now with what he's got going on. He has needed only 40 pitches to get through the first 5 innings. Rodriguez sails it towards center. Again, not much of an arm out there for Johnny Damon. The Tigers, knowing that, will send Mags Ordonez in from third. They add the extra point. 7-0 Detroit. That twice this year he's let a 6-0 lead slip away. Got to be cognizant of that, but it is now a 7-0 Tiger lead. Runner at second. One out. Scott Proctor, who led the American League, getting into 83 games. We got a nervous GM looking on, Brian Cashman.
Well, I thought it was very telling what Jim Leyland told us before the ball game, especially when he was talking about Kenny Rogers. He said, I ran Kenny Rogers out there. I know he hadn't beaten the Yankees in 13 years. I know his postseason numbers, but he was the guy that was next in line. He said people thought I was an idiot for doing it. Guess what happened? And he said, we know we're the underdogs in this series. And he said, when you're the underdog, sometimes you have to try an onside kick. If you're at the Michigan game, they ain't going to be trying any onside kicks. And in this one, I don't think the Tigers are going to have to reach into their bag of tricks either.
The old bromide about good pitching beating good hitting certainly on display in this entire series, but it comes from Kenny Rogers, a guy that routinely was creamed by the New York Yankees, and coming from the 23-year-old Bonderman, who again didn't look like the kind of guy who matched up well against the Yankee lineup. It's remarkable. Wave and a miss by Monroe.
Watch Monroe again. We talked about his back foot coming up. That's not a big deal when he swings. That back foot coming out of there, trying to reach for that pitch away. Wasn't a great pitch to swing at, but that back foot will come up in the air every time he swings the bat. He already went deep once today and had 28 home runs and 92 RBIs on the season.
Down the right field line. And Abreu can't get it.
A guy down the line picking up his chair and running away. I don't think he would have been able to catch it anyway, but neither did any of the fans, and there was a few kids down there with a glove. That guy's just there to make sure fans don't jump onto the field.
Good luck keeping him off if the Tigers pull off this win.
Oh, yeah.
One and two, the count to Craig Monroe. Two-run homer from him back in the second. He's going to ground this one, a worm burner towards second base. Now a runner at third and two down. Cue the Kid Rock music, right? Ain't no party like a Detroit party. We're going to find out if Kid Rock was right or wrong, it would appear. Foul back to the net. And, you know, you'd like to be able to say that, sure, I mean, it's the Yankees. You've got an entire lineup of guys that have been to at least one, some of them many All-Star games. And they've got it in them to come up with a heap of runs in a hurry. But as of right now, they are hitless for this baseball game. They're 0 for their last 24 going back to yesterday.
The thing is, they're not showing any signs of coming out of it. And you have to tip your cap. I mean, you can sit here all day long and talk about how the Yankees aren't doing anything. But Verlander and Zumaya and Rogers yesterday and Bonderman, unbelievable today. Hey, step back from it and understand that this team led all of baseball in team ERA. They've won 95 games. They've done it all year. Most of the country doesn't know about him, but certainly the American League does. The last American League team to lead all of baseball in ERA. I mean, think about it. Doesn't happen in the American League. Too many bats.
The DH, right?
The 0-1 Mariners.
Now, the last playoff matchup, Steve, between the highest scoring team in the majors, which is the Yankees this year, and the team with the best pitchers. That's the Tigers this year. That was the 1995 World Series, Indians and Braves, and that was won by the team with the pitching.
Well, good pitching will beat good hitting. It's the oldest saying in the game.
Now, meantime, Bonderman on kind of a chilly, well, it's no longer an afternoon, but an evening now here in Detroit. He's been sitting for 22, almost 23 minutes now, watching the Tigers go to work on his behalf.
You love to see your team score runs, but you want to run back out there and pitch again.
He will get that chance right now. It will be with a 7-0 lead. The Tigers opened this 5th inning with 4 consecutive hits. And in Game 4 of the division series, they're leading 7-0.